Welcome to lovely Portorož, Slovenia, and the Optimist World Championship 2025. As you can see, we're having lovely weather. This has been the case since we arrived. We now have a record number yesterday of sailors on the water. I think it's only one world that's been bigger than this. And we are now starting the live stream of today's event, day one of the World Championship. There has been a general recall on the race one for yellow that we're watching now. So they will try to start all over again in a bit. My name is Peter Åkesson, and I'm here in the studio together with
Pablo. Hi, everyone. It's been a slow morning today in Portorož, but the wind has finally picked up. As Peter just said, we're here in day one with the yellow fleet that just did a general recall, and we're going to start soon. So we'll be commenting the racing and hope everyone enjoys and learns from today. Keep you updated now.
So the event is going to transpire over a number of days. We will start today on the 28th with two races, and then which is the start of the qualifying round. We will continue over tomorrow, the 29th, and also the 30th with individual racing for all four groups that will sail today. It's yellow first, blue after, red after that, and finishing off with green. These 3 days will constitute the qualifying rounds where they will sail for position. And after that, we take a short break for 2 days when the team racing world championship will be decided between all the nations participating. And that will be over the 1st and 2nd of July. And then the individual races commences again with the finals in gold, silver, bronze, and emerald fleets. And that will also be over 3 days. The organization is aiming for 2 races per day. So that we can see if it's possible to have optimal racing conditions from a wind perspective.
Yes, as you're saying, Peter, let's hope for optimal conditions. The forecast today is looking champagne. They all agree in light winds. 10 to 14 knots max, and looks like now at 1 o'clock will be the maximum breeze, and it will die slowly. This is sea breeze from here, and yeah. They have just dropped the AP flag and will go into yellow procedure soon.
And outside of the nervousness I've seen in some of the participant sailors this morning, I mean, this must be a dream for these kids being here in these conditions, with this wind, with this weather. It's hard to see a better setting for an aspiring young optimist sailor.
Yeah, the conditions are lovely. For most of them, this is probably their last regatta. We're already in the 5-minute gun. And yeah, it's probably the last regatta, and they couldn't hope for better conditions. 10, 12 knots, sea breeze, chop. Doesn't get better than this. As you can see in the course, we have land to the left. It's the first day for me here, so I still don't know any of the secrets of the course, but I'm sure we'll be unlocking them and seeing how the racing looks and what pays off throughout the days. And yeah, now in the in the yellow fleet, we have the winner of the warm-up regatta, Alexander Montagu, followed by many nations such as Macedonia, Slovakia, Switzerland, Singapore. It's definitely a big fleet lots of sailors, and we'll be progressing through the regatta and through the day, see how it pays off. So we're already after the 4-minute flag, close to 1 minute. Let us know from where you are watching, who are you cheering for, and if there's any sailor in this fleet you want to see, let us know.
Approaching the 1 minute point here, so we'll get the start not too far from now.
Great, Peter. So you've been here for a few days already. Can you tell us how's the wind behaving with this direction?
Yes, I would say, I mean, looking at how it behaves individually from day to day, looking at the training sessions, looking at the warm-up they had here between the 14th and 16th, it's not super predictable. It will vary a little bit from day to day. You will experience good races, and you will experience not ideal races performed, right? So I would say it will be pretty challenging for the sailors.
Okay, and what do you think was most important in this last few racing days?
Reading the water, like having a keen eye. You can be number one and take the wrong end, and find yourself in a low pressure situation where you kind of lose out, and you could actually end up as the last in the race, right? So the sailors that sails tactical will have an upside here.
Okay, that's super interesting. We're about to start here. Everybody's approaching the fleet. And gone. We're off with a start. Looks like it's a clean start. We see New Zealand close to the Scomity end, and we also see Brazil and other New Zealand. Looks like the Kiwis have some information, and they are all going to our right side, or at least starting on windward to the group. We have Will and Jake from New Zealand there that I can see. We also have my bad. We also have 2 Portuguese sailors and GBR. We're approaching more the left side of the fleet now, and yeah, we can already see some sailors that got a good start and made an advantage and are pushing the fleet forward. We see here Guilherme Ryder from Portugal, and now we're going more to the Pinning group. Let's see who we have here. We have Let's see at the pin end. We have an Aussie here. We have Nicholas Cooper. He also got a good start, good leverage to the boat and leeward. So he'll probably be able to push this starboard line if he wants. And now it looks like we have some local from Slovenia, Michal. And looks like he has things clear. He started in the pin end and he's going for the left. So that maybe gives us a clue of what will pay off. He sailed here for sure more than the rest. And yep, let's see how the race advances. We have sailor from Peru, Joaquin Acevedo. He won Opti-Orange, the last regatta we were streaming. He's definitely one of the top contenders for Worlds, and he's also pushing for this left side. And yep, don't know. Let's see what we have here. We have Uruguay also pushing for the left side of the course. It is Julian from Uruguay that's pushing. Most of the fleet is in starboard tack, as we can see. Probably left side pays off. There was a bit of land on the left, which means there will be convergence and a bit more wind pressure in this left side of the course. So let us know if there's any other sailor that you want us to show. Yeah, let's see the racing. We're already 100 people here in the live stream. Thanks everyone for joining. Hope that everybody enjoys it. And we're just gonna enjoy these images for a bit now.
So what do you think? Was it Pinland or a committee start that's going to take? It looks like the ones on the Pinland is far ahead in the fleet. That's the left side as we see it now, right? For the people who don't sail up this themselves.
Yeah, it's the left side of the course. If we imagine it as a triangle between the start and the top mark, we would say that the left side is that's in pin and also in the left side of the course. And yeah, it looks like most of the fleet is pushing that way. You can see lots of the bounced boats that, or even some taking the lead to the right side. But as I said, it's my first day here. I haven't been able to explore lots of the local conditions. So my only clue would be that there's a bit of convergence, a bit more pressure in the left side, but I'm not so sure how it will pay off.
And also, as I said previously, the previous days it's been shifting over a leg, right? So you could have a very strong pressure there, and then if that slows down, so it's hard to predict already now who's gonna turn or go around the top end of the course first. But it looks a little bit like left is strong right now. Let's see how it transpires.
Yeah, like for me, the biggest clue we have right now is that the whole fleet is on starboard. And if the fleet is on starboard, it means that they either want to go to the left because there's like some type of geographical shift or more pressure or something like that, or they're either on a right shift. So it could be either of two things, and we'll have to see what's it. For example, I'm from Mallorca. In Mallorca, we have a Arena, which is clear starboard line to the left side of the course, and once you're on the left, you tack and you cross, like regardless of the shift. That's with our sea breeze.
But honestly, it feels like the pressure is pretty even today. It's a good day in the sense that we have a more of a constant pressure than we've seen in some of the slower days when the breeze has come a little bit later in the day. And I think this is going to make for a very good 8 aces today overall. We are now sending up the second drone to see if we can catch the blue start, which has 4 minutes. We're understanding to start. And then when we are in place, we'll turn over to the blue fleet a little bit, and then we'll move over back into this one again to see if we can catch the first rounding.
Yeah, let's go see now some of the blue when they're closer to start. We're now again here in the left side of the course. Everybody's still pushing hard on starboard. And yeah, we see that the fleet has already spread out a bit, probably between the differences in speed, and just like the initial positioning in the start is really important if you're holding this starboard line. I'm checking now the entries of the blue fleet, and it looks like we have an even more spread out on more countries. I see lots of individual sailors. So yeah, once again, let us know who are you cheering for in the blue group, and we'll try show them. We are here now with the top leaders of the left side. We see Joaquin Acevedo and local Slovenian Michel that are both starting to go on port. They're looking speedy. They have a comfy line. Looks like everything would be good for them to win this left side. And yeah, let's see how the crossing with the right side of the course turns out. We see another sailor from Brazil that just tacked also on port. We cannot see who he is, but for sure the Brazilian fans will be cheering for him. Slovenian here looking fast. It looks like champagne conditions. He's playing with the body, passing the chop. Lots of work has to go in with the rudder and the main sheet to keep the boat fast. But he has to always remember he can't afford a penalty on day one, so he will have to watch out really, really lots. And we can see here Joaquin Acevedo from Peru, body a bit more in, playing with the tiller, and now just slowing, passing astern. No, Ireland tacks, and he tacks back to the left. Looks like those that came from a higher lane, so that means from Committee End to the left, are crossing. We see here Uruguay, and we see USA. US sailor is Alexander Montagu, winner of the warm-up regatta, with Uruguay 87 to leeward, which is Julian. They're both looking strong, going further into the left. Alexander just stacking now on top of Ireland, and now Uruguay follows and goes on port. Look like the fleet is starting to line up on port. And now we're in 1 minute into the 1 minute left of the blue stars, so we're going there to check it out and see how it works out.
Let's go there. So we have the start of the blue fleet.
We have just confirmed it's clear start. Again, we see some boats bounced already on port. It's a pain because lanes like this, speed is really important, and the priority will be finding a clear lane and just being able to sail again at their fastest speed. We see here Greece, Austria starting on starboard, strong starboard start. Committee end start. And we're going to be a bit closer now to the pin end and just brush the fleet and see who's there. Brazil, Canada, all getting good starts. Switzerland here. As we can see, looks like the pin end the pin end group at the end got a really good start, and those that were a bit more to the center got a bit worse start, probably because of the transit lines. Although I was told by Mauricio, his local here, he told me it's Portorož is between Slovenia and Croatia, and it's really easy to get transits. So for those the next day, it's important to get really good transits. Looks like one of my colleagues here is happy about a Swedish start. Who is he? Could you tell us?
Yeah, that's Ernst Akesson from Sweden. Having strong start on the left side together with Singapore 142. That kind of took the start, I think. Who do we have there at 142?
Yeah, I'm just bringing out the list. Apologies because things have changed.
We will have to Puerto Rico 99 as well, strong.
We have 87 Puerto Rico here, sprinting towards the left side of the course. We also have a Singapore sailor, which is Sean. He's also going
to come. Yeah, very strong starts.
Yeah, Uruguay also got a good start here. And looks like we have a Kiwi that the other two started more to committee, and this one is going more to the left. So yeah, looks like the Kiwis have a bit of split opinion here. Let's see who got it right. As we said, Sweden is also here. Spanish is here. He is Juan Llanat, great sailor. He won the Excellence Cup ranking this winter, so he's for sure gonna be pushing to do a great world championship.
Who do we have there? 3153 Japan.
Yeah,
start as well.
Nagori from Japan here also got a really good start. He has good space to windward, so if he gets a bit of a less shift, he will be able to tack and cross easily.
We'll have to here you can see a good example of where we failed a bit. The weather is so good, we have to switch the filter for next run with this drone, right, Blah?
Yeah.
The sun is strong, so we'll just bring you up with something more. It's a little bit hard to see the sail numbers with this.
Yeah, once again, tell us through the chat who you are cheering for from the Blue Fleet. Yeah, we'll try to get them on shot.
Yeah,
let's not
focus on that's not as important. The result will be what it is in the end. But that was a good start for us. It does seem after those two races that the left side is paying off. It's going to be very nice to see when we have the rounding, if we can do that before we have to go in and change batteries. I think the strong wind we have will make it a little bit harder to stay live with the drones for as long as we want to. But let's see what happens. I wonder how far it is to the upwind mark.
As we can see now on the shot, we're showing a bit the yellow fleet. We're already approaching. And yeah, unfortunately, we have a boat rushing and crossing through the course. Hope it won't annoy the sailors a lot. We have here Austrian sailor that got a really good start from probably mid-center line, and he's pushing towards the left. It's Chris Wagner. Congrats on that great start. We have also Greek sailor Odysseus with a good start. Maybe the boat to leeward was a bit too pushing, but not a big drama. He can still be fast and sail fast. And now we have Polish sailor Maximilian, who got an amazing start. He's leading all the groups to his. He's leading all the boats to his leeward, and looks like he's light sailor. He's got his body out and he's hiking, so he's for sure going to be fast in these conditions where you can really pull the boat and you really can sprint.
I'm hearing that the right has come a little bit stronger when we approach the marks. I think we should check in a little bit on the other drone before it has to fly in. So we'll switch to the yellow fleet again now. They are coming in for the rounding here, so I think it's even. It seems like an even pressure over the course. Both the left and the right side might have gotten shifts enough to qualify for rounding in the top.
Yeah, it looks like one sailor Our two sailors are quite apart from the fleet. We have here Greek sailor. No, sorry. Yeah, we have Greek sailor here that's leading the fleet. He is Georgios Karnavas. Looks like he's gonna have really chill reaching now, just leading the fleet. And second overall, we have looks like Portuguese. Let's see when he tacks. Yeah, we have Portuguese sailor Guilherme Ryder tacking to get second in the upwind mark, followed by New Zealand. New Zealand Jake. And fourth overall, we have GBR, which is, we're going to switch screens now.
We're gonna have to switch to the blue because of we need to switch the battery. Simply, that's gonna happen.
Jag kommer att penetrera det. De här är inte kristna.
Okay, let's see what happens in the blue flute. If we can see anything, we really need to switch out the lens when we not forget to do that. What do you say, Pablo? Can you see anything?
Well, I'm trying to see the numbers, but the sails look too wide. Let's see if we can get a bit closer to them and see who's leading now. But yeah, as soon as we can, we'll change this lens because it's hard for us. It's hard for you watching. It's just a bit complicated for everyone. So let's try to get a bit closer now, see if we can see any of the numbers. We see, looks like Austria here. That's leading this group in that's going on port. We also see Argentina now. Juan Sebastian, who Finn sailor here just got a bit of breathing space when Brazil tacked. Brazil is now going on starboard to the right side. And yeah, looks like the
Yeah, we're sorry for that small interruption. We are not used to these extremely warm conditions. So we actually had an overheat of the modem, basically. Drop the line to you guys. Sorry for that, but we're back live now, trying to find an umbrella situation that helps us. We see the right after the starting of the green fleet with Turkey and Norway leading on the left side. We also see Sweden 49-39, which is Alexander Forsén, Norway. Yeah, we see a little bit of a more even line here, but everyone is still doing the first tack is primarily left, as we've seen in the previous races as well. Spain 36-0-0, I think.
So I'm back here. Thanks, Peter, for taking over. We can see here a Spaniard. It is Alejandro Valero pushing the fleet. Really good start with Argentinian to windward. Argentinian Tomás Morteo also got a good start. They're both pushing the boat. Alejandro has some power that the rest of the fleet don't. You can see he's hiking, and he's a tall guy for sure. He's really one of the tall guys. He already crossed the line of poor Austrian sailor.
So Turkey out on this side, also Spain. On the right, 36-60 Marta Mansito. And a strong female sailor from Spain. That's a good good half there on the right.
Yeah, definitely Marta there was pushing with respect to her group. We see Danish, and she really extended with the Danish with Freya.
Freya Vintergaard, who was the top girl, I think, in the Garda meet this year.
Once again, we apologize for the logistics problem before. We've been streaming this whole winter, and it's a problem we've never had. Obviously, Garda was a bit cooler, and Valencia was blowing windy and big waves. So we had other troubles like a bit of seasickness, but today different problems, and we just have to adapt. So sorry once again, and thanks for everyone for rejoining again.
It's the same for the kids, right? Different problems every regatta, every
different
race.
different day, different problem, different race, different problem. But we can see all of them really pushing and going hard. Let's see who we see here. Now it's a bit of the mess in the screen because in the top left, so you can see the other fleets in the second upwind. So maybe you're getting a bit confused. But what we're focusing now on is on the red fleet. We see here Danish sailor, Puerto Rico. And the wind has picked up for those not in the venue. The wind has picked up quite a bit. It's quite refreshing. I'd say it's around 14, maybe even 16 knots. And we're not the only ones here. There's also some 470s I saw, some big ORC boats, and even some motorboats. Everyone just enjoying the day. And now we can see in the background Croatia, because in case you didn't know, Slovenia and Croatia are just a swim away. If you would really, or at least a sail, let's say a sail away, you could really be sailing in Croatia or coming out of Croatia to race awards. We see another Polish sailor here. There are two Polish sailors in this group. And this one is Jan Pietuchko that just got tagged with Italy. Italian sailor here is, we don't know if it's Jesper or Giovanni. It's Giovanni here. He's pushing to the left. Marcelo probably told him something to really go bang that left side. And another Danish sailor on the screen. This time it's Jonathan that just got tagged on top by Giovanni. And now we see here Swiss team with a GBR sailor. And they're really pushing with Patrick. They're really pushing. French sailor on top of them with a really comfy lane. It's Jet Marshall. And we'll see how this upwind pays off. Singapore here a bit more to windward. And it is Tekwon. Sorry for the pronunciation if it's wrong. And to windward of him, we have Alexander Forsen with a really, really comfy lane. Looks like the boat's on the right. This boat that just tagged is crossing quite comfy. Or maybe not, because he just tagged back. But maybe sometimes it's a bit hard to see depending on perspective. It can look many ways. And we don't really know what will pay off until we see one of the sides crossing. We're getting a very panoramic view now of the whole race course and the whole fleet. And if you're cheering for anyone in the green fleet, put it in the comments and let us know who you're cheering for. We can see Portorož background here now. And we can also see now the fleets coming back from the first race. I think it's Yellow Fleet. Yes, it's Yellow Fleet that has finished and is going back to the starting line. So we will soon be back with them. And we can see the top marks now and the sailors approaching the stop mark. I'd say they're 60-65% through the upwind. And some comfy leaders, some that need to do some catching up already. Probably depends on the start that we had before. Bad start really conditions you in boat speed in sea breeze like this, where boat speed is so important, and just being able to make the distance fast is a really game changer. So Peter, what's your take on this race? I saw there's a Swede here, Alexander, that's doing good on that left side. He has a comfy lane. Couldn't really tell you who he is from this shot now, but he had a comfy lane, that's for sure.
Yes, I think that might have been a turn order to bank on the left side there, because I saw a lot of them in that corner. Yeah. I think I heard a rumor after the warm-up and the practice that the kids have done that the left lane is a little bit preferred in normal conditions here. But I also think that after all, when we saw them converging, we saw that sometimes towards the end, the right gave a little bit more, right? So
like obviously with there's always shifts that you can use. Sometimes the shifts pay off more, sometimes less. We see Pablo Munoz here, that from the US, that has a really good lane, and Alejandro Valero. All of these guys are pushing to the left side, some from a higher lane, so more towards the committee end of the start, and some more towards the pin. We see Marta Mancito here, just cruising along. Good lane with those respect to her windward and her leeward. Definitely happy is seeing something in this left side, because most of happy sailors are going to this this left side of the course. And it's quite surprising to see Marta doing so good in these conditions, because she's quite a big sailor, and even though the wind is increasing, we're
moving back, and now we're watching the yellow fleet. Sorry, it's the upwind mark. We just did the drone switch.
Yeah, apologies. It's 4 fleets, 2 drones, too many combinations, and sometimes it just gets a bit tricky knowing where we are. And yeah, we can see the fleet approaching now. It looks better now, the camera, eh, Peter, with this change.
This is good. Let's keep this on.
And we can see the boats piling up on the port ley line. Some of them are for sure over the ley line, and that's very costly, lots of meters that have to be done. Others are pushing more towards center, giving them a bit of margin to use any right shifts you get at the end to tack back to that port ley line. But yeah, fleet is looking strong, pushing. You can see the white push there's from the waves. That indicates that the wind intensity is going up. And we have 92 people watching us live now. Thanks to everyone for joining us. We're going to be soon seeing this approach, seeing who the top leaders are. Some boat just bared away astern. This is really, really expensive, especially getting into the top mark, because it's one boat length you haven't gone forward, but also to leeward. So it's very important. You have to really meditate when you're going to pass sterns. We see most of the fleet are already on port. Some boats are going to on starboard, and they're pushing towards that left ley line, but most of the fleet are already on port and going towards the mark already. And we'll see now soon who these leaders are. We're here ready to know who they are. We have people cheering for Thailand. Let's go, Thailand. Let's see if we see any of their sailors rounding well on the top mark. So here in the rounding, it's getting very, very bright for us. We're in the terrace of the hotel. We see Argentina rounding first, followed by Pablo Munoz. This Argentinian sailor is Tomas Moreto, that we saw before, that he had a start close to Marta.
Pablo Montes,
Yeah.
number 2.
And next up, we have Alejandro Valero from Spain, and Turkish sailor Mehmet Erkut rounding in fourth, followed by Polish, very, very close. It's Victor, that's rounding fifth. Then we have Marta Mancito, ringing world champion. And next up we have Jesper Carlsen. Jesper is one of the top sailors at the moment. We recently interviewed him in Road to Gold, and he's a really, really smart guy. Won Rock last year. And
Then the guard as well, rounding there, right? 7, I think, then.
Chile guy very close to the mark there. Croatia guy also very close to the mark. Another Italian sailor. This one is Giovanni, that we saw had a good position before, but probably didn't materialize it. Like, you can have good position in the middle of the upwind, and it can really, really quickly turn around. It's really complicated. You do a mistake and changes everything very quickly on your racing. We see now the pack, too many names to mention, but we see Netherlands, we see Germany, we see United Arab Emirates, we see Peru, Israel, Lithuania, GBR, Poland, Ireland, so many countries. Like, this is a world championship. You can see it. There's 64 nations. Up to 2 days ago, it was going to be record worlds with 66 nations. Unfortunately, 2 nations had to cancel last minute. Such a shame, but we can see the level here is really, really high. Everybody's really tight on the racing. Uruguay, Chile, Belgium, Bermuda, you name it, they're all here. You see now the last boats of the Green Fleet rounding. Such a shame, probably bad start, bit linked with some difficulty finding lanes, and it has complicated the racing. Happens to everyone, but no worries. It's time to keep on pushing, make the most out of the race, and try to make sure that you're ready for next race. So we're going to take a pause now to prepare for the next race. Thanks to everyone for joining. It's our first day here at the Worlds. It's the first day for the sailors of racing, but it's also our first day streaming. So if we have any issues, please just hold on with us.
Come back. We're here with the second race of the day. So yellow is lining up, preparing to start. I think it's like around 3 minutes until the start will go there.
You're going to fight. That's good. Okay. Hello. That. Calling around one minute.
Nice here. They have like this is not the flat line. Some of them are over, it looks almost like, and some of them are under. Let's see.
Yes.
This is probably not a clean start. What do you say, Babla?
I don't know. We'll see now in a few seconds. Definitely the center was pushing more. Looks like the race committee isn't pulling any flags up, so probably clean. Yes, so looks like General Rico. You were right, Peter.
Yeah.
General Rico. Definitely the center was pushing lots. All those boats in the middle pushing. They all want to do a good race. They've seen what pays off in the last race, and they really, really want to go for it.
We're gonna have another 5 minutes then until we're ready to go for the second try. They were a bit hot in the first race as well. So let's see how long they'll wait until they bring the black flag up. So normally they'll do starts with the U flag up. There's a couple of rule differences between the U flag and the black flag in how you're allowed to restart the race, etc. And normally every fleet gets their rules for the first set, which is new. And then if they're a little bit too hungry, they will be changing to the black flag, which is worse for the fleet, and that will hang with them for the rest of the day, probably.
Yeah, definitely the black flag is stricter. It makes if you're over the line, even if it's a general recall, you're out. And the objective of this is to try and simplify the starts as much as possible and get those boats that are a bit more disruptive out of the line to get possibility of starting with a clean line, and just being able to execute the race, because the race committee at the end wants to get good races as soon as possible, but they can't afford to be the whole day just doing general recalls and general recalls. So let's see if we get any updates of the racing results from the first race. We're gonna refresh the page now and see if we see anything while we wait for the fleet to just get their procedure going in again. So the 5-minute flag is up. We see everybody getting their time and getting their transit lines and just checking everything. It's very important to also check the course geometry, which is written down in the back of the race committee, and that determines where the top mark is and the rest of the race course to see if it's well set, if there's maybe a longer starboard tack or a port tack. And it's what we do is we compare the line to what the race course sets, which, for example, let's say is a 250 with the average wind direction we get. So, for example, if the race course is a 250 and the average wind direction is 240, it means the wind is a bit more to the left than what the course is set. Whilst if we had a 260, for example, it would mean that the wind is a bit more to the right than the course itself.
I was just out measuring the wind with my face, and the similar conditions in the second race. I would say it's still a strong push. It's still even wind. It feels a little bit like it's not turning degrees wise too much. So I think we'll see similar conditions in this race. That we had in number 1.
Yeah, we can see that the black flag is already up. That means the race committee won't let any of the boats go over the line, even if there's a general recall. Definitely the first day, last thing you want to get is a black flag, as it limits your discard already to the rest of the championship to a last place. So that means that whatever you will do, you will have to take that result with you to the final day of racing and the overall results. We can see.
So for the grandmoms and granddads back home, what's a discard? How many do they get? Why is it important?
Yeah, so a discard. What a discard is that means that your worst result is knocked off. So say that, and it updates throughout the racing. So for example, say your worst result after 4 races is a 10th place, and you would discard that 10th and keep the other 3 races. But as if the racing goes on, we, for example, score a 31st, you would discard that 31st. So it's always updating. It's really, really important championship-wise to keep that discard in a good position until at least finals, where everything gets tighter and you really need to be able to have the chance of taking extra risk or just having bad luck and not having to take that bad result with you. And yeah, we're just getting closer now to the starting gun. We already see the boats in position. We're between 4 and 1 minute, as we can see the black flag up. Once we're in the last minute, they will drop the black flag. And once it's go time, they will drop the yellow. We can see some of the boats approaching now down into the line, and everybody is setting up. So that means we're probably close to the 1 minute gun. We can see GBR here in the race committee. Who else can we see? Let's see who else we can see. We see Montenegro here. 2 sailors from Montenegro, so they have probably been told the same. Another Kiwi sailor, Singapore. Another Kiwi sailor also. Looks like Kiwis are agreeing on what they're doing, same as Montenegro guys. Probably tested the start before on the race course, and they agreed that either the committee line was favored or the right side was favored. Yeah, they just maybe wanted a higher lane towards the left side. We will see now how it goes. Still above 1 minute. We will probably see soon that black flag dropping down. As you can see, the center of the line isn't pushing as much. The pin end is quite free, so that would probably mean 1 minute. We're inside 1 minute already. What I was saying, sorry, is that we can see that the pin is quite empty, so there's probably been a change on the shift on the start line, or either the right side is favored. So for those of you at home, if the right side of the line is favored, so the committee end, it means it takes longer to cross the line. No, sorry, it takes shorter. My bad. Just got confused now seeing the screen upside down.
you see a little bit more of discipline along the line here, right? Because they are now very scared of crossing. But it's also a challenge for the sailors because they have a sailor next. From where we look, it looks really simple to line up, right? But they have one sail to the left and one sail to the right. So it is a bit challenging, but something they simply have to master, right? Because if you get the black flag, as you said, this early in the race, the only discard they're going to have is that black flag, so they can't afford any bad races anymore, right?
It's go time already. We can see French sailor taking a quick tag, and it looks like it's general recall. Yeah, we have another general recall. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of waiting time now while the race committee gets the numbers out and everything. And they'll just make sure that everybody that was identified as black flag will leave the race. So we'll probably see less boats in this new starting procedure. We're now going a bit to the pennant to see who was there. We see Puerto Rico. We see a Danish sailor. We see Montenegro also. And yeah, now it's just waiting time. Sailors want to be close to the race committee to see the black flags when they're posted, but they don't want to stay too close because maybe a small trick we have as sailors is that maybe they're not fully identified because there's so many boats, and if you go too quick to the committee, maybe they can remember and just get their memory back and be like, oh yeah, saw that sailor there that maybe we didn't identify. So, or maybe they just saw the flag, the country. So yeah, you have to decide what you do if you go quick and try to see the results because the boats will start piling up. Or you either wait.
None of the sailors would do anything like that, Pablo, right?
No, for sure no. I'm just speaking, from my sailor point of view.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. And we can see now all the boats piling up here and seeing. Also, we can see the fleets in the back that have been finishing the race and are also starting to pile back. For those at home, we usually have a waiting area that's below the starting line, and the waiting area is where all the boats and race and coaches have to be. I think that we can see there, no, Peter? We can see here a rib that's probably marking the top upwind part of the waiting area, and those are, yeah, it's that, right? And I see a few ribs, and that's that area. Boats that are not racing cannot pass until it's their starting procedure time. And yeah, we can see all the boats piling up, waiting here. Montenegro, Latvia, New Zealand, Greece. They will just be waiting to see the board and see the UFDs.
So while waiting for the start, we'll cycle you through the preliminary results from the tracking. We still don't have the real results, so this might not be 100% correct. But here you have the yellow preliminary ending order. Do you have any comments on the top 10 here?
Well, funny thing is, Mexican sailor Jorge, I was with his parents yesterday when I was coming here. We took the same transfer, and yeah, good to see he did a good race. And we can see that the fleet is spread out many countries. None of the countries really, let's say, dominated. We can see Portugal got 2 sailors inside the top 11. Maybe it's top 10. We don't really know because this is unofficial. It's based on GPS, and maybe one crossed a bit earlier, a bit slower. So we don't really know that. But yeah, we see, for example, Joaquin Acevedo, that was looking very strong on the left side of the course, didn't end doing the best race, so maybe that's an indicative that
and there were some shifts on the last. Also, Alexander Montague was absolutely top, right? Or was that the one you mentioned?
I think yes.
Yes.
So we can see all the sailors now that are checking the race committee board. They're seeing how it's looking, and to see the black flag. And if there's black flag, it's tough day for them because it means they're already going home. You can get extra rest, but that's not what anyone wants. What everybody wants to do is be able to push hard in the second race. Probably the board is already up. We see lots of sailors here, and they'll just be checking the possible UFDs. We're going to go soon to see results of the other fleets. We have here results of the blue fleet. Brazilian sailor won the race, followed by Ola, and top 3. The third was Odysseus, that we spoke about him. Fourth overall, Andrea de Murtas. He's a top sailor, obviously, did good in this race, and his family will be very happy for him.
Manuel Baganza, number 5, preliminary there. Right, he won the Europeans auto competition since he was Brazilian last year. Also very strong sailor.
And yeah, again, we see the fleet spread out. Juan Leonard, that we saw that he was in the middle pack, stayed there. And we can see that again, lots of countries, none of the countries really dominating over the others. We see Brazilian, 2 sailors in top 5, so maybe that's a change. But apart from that, none of the other countries really taking lots of the top spots. So that means the fleet is quite spread out. And now back here to the rating. Sailors still waiting, wanting to check. We can see the last fleet, which is the green fleet, going back from the finishing line. These are the sailors we see reaching down, or even possibly in downwind, from the race committee. We see at the top right of our screens, that's probably the finishing line, and they're just coming back from there. Now it's the time that the race committee can also change the starting line. They can put the pin up, or they can lower the pin down, or they can put the committee vessel up or down. And what they do if they do this is changing the starting line geometry, and that means what's part of the starting line is favored. But also another important thing, it changes how long it takes to cross the line. We will soon see the results, so let's see what the unofficial results say. And we have that the race winner was Austria, followed by Maria Anna Macri from Greece, and third overall, Italian sailor Christian Castellan, and fourth, Singapore Lucas Cao, and fifth, Cyprus sailor Pavlos Karamitas. I'm trying to see here if we see any of the other nations that contended with good results. Austrian definitely did good, 11 and first, so they're winning the nation's red fleet. Let's say if there was be such thing. Yeah, good to see sailor from my club, Gianpaolo, doing good. He finished 14th overall. which is maybe not top result, thinking that there's 4 fleets, but it's definitely not a bad result. And if it's something that you can carry to gold fleet or silver fleet, depending where he ends, it will be a good result. Yeah, still here waiting. What I was saying before about the pinning, that it doesn't only change the course geometry, which is what side of the pin is favored, it also changes how long it takes to cross the line. The pin is favored, it would mean that we would have more of an upwind course from committee to pin, so it means it would take longer to cross the line. While if the committee was favored, it would mean that the committee is higher up and it would take less time because it would be more of a reaching or even downwind course to cross the line. Something that really helps to visualize this is imagining the extremes. Imagine if the committee would be super high up, that we would have an upwind, and if the pin end was high up, we would have an upwind from the committee to the pin, and if the committee would be super high up, we would have a downwind from the committee to the pin. So that's a way that really helps visualize. Can we get Peter?
Sorry, the preliminary results for green is not up yet. It is still marked as live, so we sadly can't go into the green yet. Everything just takes a little bit of time before it's finished.
Yeah, everything has a bit of delay. We don't have live stuff. Everything you're seeing, even the trackings and everything, has a few minutes delay. So yeah, we're doing our best. As soon as it's up, we'll get it with you guys. Thanks for watching.
But I could take you through a couple of pages that is important to look at if you want to see stuff. So this is the official IOTA page for the World Championship. It's 2025 worlds.optiworld.org, and this is where you can find all of your information. And any news will be displayed down here, and you will later also have a tab that reads results, so that you can go in once they have scored and published the results properly. You can see that there. And also, if we go to MetaSail, I can take you through there. You go to metasail.com, and then you go to regattas, and you can click on Optimist World Championship Portorož, Slovenia. And here you can also track then using MetaSail software, and every kid has a small tracker in their boat, so you can follow the races live in a browser page just by clicking on a race like the one here that is live.
Yeah, Peter.
To go in. You can follow your favorite sailors, choose the boats, track them, etc.
On the bottom right, if you see now, it says that you can get real-time updates on your sailors. You can get WhatsApp notifications that they have some automated program. So in case like you're working or anything, you just want to see the updates of where your friend or your kid is in the racing, you'll get updates with every mark rounding. And yes, this what you're saying about tracking, there's something that's really funny, and it's that you get points if you don't collect it, and usually give it back every day. So it's a big sailor's trauma, getting extra points even though you perform well just because you forgot to give your tracker or pick it up in the morning.
Yeah. That's one of the many important rules they have to follow on these championships.
Yeah.
But so you see, you have loads of data points to collect. You can watch the page, you can follow follow it live, and you can also continue to join in here on our lovely live coverage with multiple drones. We'll try to cover as much as possible, but right now, as you can see, this might turn into a little bit of a chaos race due to all the black flags that are probably being doled out right now.
Yeah, and I have some bad news. If they're taking so long, what it means is that there was quite a lot of black flags. So this race is probably going to be quite an empty race, let's say, because many boats will be already going home. Definitely sailors won't be happy and coaches won't be happy either with this happening, but that's the sport, and if you push, we have some rules to follow, and yeah, it's a shame, but that's how it works, because if not, people will be getting unfair advantages. All the rules that we have in sailing, what they try to do is create first some orders of who can cross above who. For example, with starboard port or leeward windward, it usually tries to defend the the most unprotected boat. For example, with leeward windward, but yeah, there's some stuff like this that it's just to get a fair racing, because if someone would start 25 seconds before you, it would be very hard to catch up. So this is the way that sailing has decided to keep the racing fair. And here we can see sailors still waiting. Now, if you can, I'm not sure if you're allowed, but it would be a good time to go just to your coach's rib and get some water and some food and just hydrate, because it's waiting time. Or either like some sailors are doing, you can check your upwind speed, your technique, your trim to see if you need to change anything. Or maybe even just check your security stuff. You have to have the sail ties on a maximum distance from the mast and the boom, and if you don't do so, you're penalized. You can also check if the mast collar, I think it's called in English, is attached. And yeah, there's just some rules that you have to follow, and they check after the finish. And if you're not inside those security and safety rules, you will get lots of points. So that's something that sailors don't want to see.
So whilst waiting here, we'll just take a short break, but leave the video on so you can see what is happening as they are lining up for the third start of the second race here in yellow.
So we just got the 5-minute signal. You can see some boats going downwind. So yeah, we can see some boats that were going downwind. Those are the unlucky ones with UFD. And yeah, we're back in procedure. 5 minutes. Soon we'll see black flag going up again. Doesn't look visually that they changed a lot the pin end. Yeah, let's just wait now and see how the start folds out. Thanks for joining.
So now we're getting closer to 1 minute before start. Here you see one of the hostile seagulls flying across the picture. They are hunting the girls' drones. We have two extremely experienced drone flyers with us here today. Their names are Tindra Forsén and Lova Forsén. They're really good at this game. I've been doing this for a long time.
Men jobbigt.
So are we're getting closer. Closer there, we get the start going. Let's see what we can see here now. It's like a little bit favored towards the committee this time. USA there with a great start. Mark Portugal. As you can see, it's also it's compared to last start, it's a little bit thinned out in the sense that the black flags are not in the race. That gives all the sailors a little bit that is still left in the race, a little bit more maneuvering space. Makes you wonder if there's a slight shift in the pressure over the line. Race one was much more heavy towards the pin and loads more kids going out towards the left. While I think we saw a little bit more committee starts, still all tacking and going left across the field. But we also have a nice bow where the middle of this, the ones who really started out at the committee boat and just went on that fully left, seems to be in the lead in the middle here. A little bit of a different pattern than we saw in the first race, where it was a little bit more favored towards the ends of the course, I think.
There's a big white ship, no?
So we see a split in the field here, where a number of them have chosen to go a bit more out to the right. Maybe they're seeing some shifts out there that they are aiming to. So this is a large split of the entire field compared to the previous race. So even though it didn't feel very different, there might be a difference in the wind speed out there. This is what we talked about earlier on in the beginning of the stream. This has been the conditions in this bay for the period leading up to this and all the regattas that have been going out here, right? That the key is to really find these pressures and capitalize on them, and that will really make you take off a little bit more than the other competitors in the field.
Sorry. Thank you.
Blue fleet is also preparing to race. We just heard that there is a flag up for blue, which means that it's 5 minutes to the start of that fleet as well. Judging from this, I still feel a slight potential for the left to come out strong in this. See as they approach the pin, yeah. Still fairly even between the top ones. I think this is going to be a top tight fleet. We saw Georgios Karnavas from Greece and also Jake Dickey from New Zealand being at the top of the mid there. Let's see who's out on the side if we can catch something.
So back here, thanks to everyone. We're now watching the yellow fleet, but we're going to go very, very soon to the blue fleet because they're close to their last minutes. And let's change screens and see what we have. So yeah, the fleet is lining up. 1 minute left, I believe. Yes, we can see the blue flag there, 1 minute. And everybody's lining up. Everybody really, really, really close to the committee end. Pin end is completely empty, so either the right side is paying off now, or the committee end is very favored. Everybody pushing close. Doesn't look like there will be general recall, as there's not those middle boats pushing, which are those that lead the fleet to the black flags and the general recalls.
But we also saw that in the last race, right? That the ones who started committee and just banked out to the left were strong strong on the mid to left part of the field.
We see Singapore sailor Sean here on committee. Looks like it could be a good start if he's not too close. And looks like we're off in 3, 2, 1, go. Gone. And we see Juan Leonard here. Turkish sailor Asaf, also here close to committee. And Israel sailor Nadav, also pushing here in the committee. And I think this Austrian that we have here, yes, it's Chris that we saw him in the last race, also starting quite well. Some boats already going quick on port. And let's see how this race advances. Fleet going on port. Most of them were those that got a bad start and they're just looking for some clear wind. We have US sailor Mason on port with Belgium sailor Henry also following on port to his windward. And yeah, the fleet is just going to try and get a bit of speed and just separate itself. This is a really important part of the start where we try to be really fast and just make distance to the rest of them to be able to just extend and from there on play the shifts and the sides. We see here Turkish sailor, Italian sailor, Andrea de Murtas that got a 4th unofficial place in the last race. Let's see how he does. Again, looking fast. Crossing, he won't cross the Swiss. Let's see what he does. He gets stuck on top by the Swiss and he decides to leave. Chris from Austria looking really fast. He got a really nice lane. Same did Singapore sailor and Juan Leonard. Ernst also clean start, good bit behind Spanish sailor, but good lane here, and he can just push and sail the boat fast. We can see that the chop is still there. All the sailors playing a lot with their body and just trying to pass this wave that's quite short, quite low, but really slows the boat, so they have to really play around with their body. And now we have Japan sailor, followed by Danish sailor, and this is Australian sailor. Australian sailor that was more in the center or even pin side of the start. Got a really clean start in comparison to those around him. We see Ukrainian sailor Ola also here. Didn't get the best start, probably accelerated late or didn't want to risk a UFD. So yeah, let's see how this plays off. We're now seeing this fleet from the left side. We can see the Australian sailor we were speaking about before, which is either, it looks like it's Toby from Australia, Irish sailor. Also here on this left side, it's Meave. They have really clear lane, really able to use the speed of the boat, but it looks like most of this fleet is going right. And there's always this saying that what most are doing is probably the right thing, so maybe they're reading the course a bit wrong, or they just see something that the rest aren't seeing. So we'll have to see how it plays out for them. But yeah, they have a clear lane. Danish sailor Carl also with a really clean lane, pushing towards this left side of the course with Japan, and I believe it's Thailand sailor also there. So let's see how these few sailors are doing with respect to the rest of the fleet that's pushing for the right.
That's a good position. Carl Birgers on there, right? Come out. That's a good lane as well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know the 100 people that are watching live now, from where are you joining?
We see Ernst Åkesson, Sweden, and then
Joan Leonard from Spain.
yeah,
Definitely lots of distance. He's a fast guy in those conditions. Estonian sailor also doing good here. It's there's two Estonians in this group, so we couldn't really see who he was, but we have Portuguese sailor on port, and he is Diego Reis. Just crossing.
even for Robert Matt, I think it was.
Okay, great. We are seeing his ducking two boats, so he thinks it's time to go to the right. Let's see what he does with respect to Mason from the US, and Mason decides to tack leeward to him, so he probably believes that the best side is the right, and that's why he's going between him and the right. And we're gonna switch fleets now. We're approaching the top mark of the yellow group. We can see the umpires close there, watching for any possible pumping. That's what they can protest for. They can protest for what we call roll for. So what I was saying is that the umpires can protest for what is called Rule 42, which is pumping. It's ways of propulsing the boat, as they say, that are not by the wind or the waves. So they're really, really watching out for that. The Optimist is a really, really watched class, and it's where we're setting the base for the youth sailors. So we really have to be strict here. So no sailors can.
This is going to be interesting if they are the ones who are early out on the ley line here.
Yes, we see.
Whether them coming in from the left, it's looking like this have it, and it was as we followed early in the start. This is Georgios
Yeah,
Carnavas, number one.
Georgios, followed by Guillermo Ryder and Slovenian. Slovenian sailor.
Looks like Walter Gerebic.
Yeah, he wasn't the one that was doing good on the other race, but good to see him up there. And next up we have Jonathan from GBR, followed close by Akin from Turkey, and that's our top 5.
Oh,
Turkey touching the mark. Could he had a bit of space because he can take the penalty and he doesn't lose too much. Imagine taking that penalty when you're 20th, Peter? You lose.
No, that's bad. I think also, around the 10 mark, I think I saw Miles Gordon from USA also around it.
Yeah, now we see the Slovenian local sailor from Mihal, that he was doing good in the other race, and he's also here in the top part of the fleet.
This and Shia rounding.
Yeah, something that's very, very important. I mean, you can see this fleet is so empty. After all the UFDs, there's nearly a whole fleet already, and it's like 30 boats, more or less. Something that's really, really important to know with fleet racing is that the first days of qualifiers, you're racing in 4 fleets, so you're winning the race, but there's also 3 other people winning the race. So whatever you do, you have to think about it as in terms of ×4 in this case. So you do a first, and yeah, it's a first, but it's actually a 4th because there's other 3 people that did the same result as you. So that's something really important to really push in those first few days of racing, where it's very easy to be like, oh yeah, I did 2 top 10s, but it's like, yeah, you did 240 places, to be honest, which doesn't sound bad, but in the overalls, you can get a bit shocked if you don't have this into account.
But I think we saw with the shifts, this will be a regatta where there will be a number of single-digit results, but there will probably be some. Most of the sailors will have more higher results, right? So it's if you're constantly in the top 10 and single-digit racing, it's going to be still leave a good being in a good spot going into the final series after the team regatta is.
Yeah, definitely, it's worlds. The level is super high, and any bad result can really. It's usual. It's okay. Like, it's not okay, obviously, but it's normal to do bad races because the fleet is so tight and so pushing, and you do a mistake and you pay it really expensive. It's not like maybe a local regatta where it's less paid for expenses. So it's less expensive doing those bad results. Yeah, it looks like we're having the whole yellow fleet rounding. And now we're going to go back to the other drone and see what we have on screen. And looks like we have a red fleet lining up for the start. Yeah, red fleet. We can see the red flag in the race committee beside the orange flag. We can see all the race officers there in front, really checking to see if anybody is over the line or close. And once again, we see this committee end really full of votes, while that pin end doesn't have so many votes. Well, to be honest, none. They're all between, like, I would say 75% of the line, or even 70%. And yeah, let's see how it pays off. The fleet is really close. You can see the boats doing tacks and tacking again, just to get a bit more of windward space to leeward. For those of you not used with our okay and we're off.
But that was a disciplined line, right, compared to the other ones. But it's still, I still think this is a general recall.
Yes, it is. We have seen the flag going up. The general recall flag is that triangular flag you can see in the race committee now. It's a bit dark, but we can maybe see it, and you have to trust me here. It's blue on the outside and yellow in the center. So one triangle inside of another one.
Coordinated fleet doing a false start all together, right?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Everybody wants to just get a bit of a longer day today. You know, some sailors are already home. If you check the tracking, you'll see that some of the tracks are already home. It's a shame, but that's how racing works sometimes. And yeah, we have some sailors from the yellow that are already getting home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sailors that are home already. 14, 15, 16, 17 UFDs non-confirmed. So this is all unofficial, but it looks like this is the case. And yeah, now it's going to be a bit of waiting time and see when they start rolling again.
So we will, in the meantime, while we wait for the red start, blue still has some ways to go before they are rounding. But in the interest of providing some entertainment, we'll try to hunt this down. So we have Fujita Shoei from Japan there. And Sisu sailor, very good Finnish sailor there, flying over. We have that's Denmark there. That was probably called Birgersen then, unless they have many Danes in this fleet. Yes, it was. They had many. That was probably Alfred Pontoppidandoleris that we saw there. Passing by Jean Leonard. This is Odysseus from Greece. One seems to be in the lead by a very small margin. Over there, I also see Swedish sailor Ernst Åkesson and Danish sailor. And this one, I think, is Carl Birgersson, yes, 88.05. So this Juan, Ernst, and Carl is fighting for what could be the lead when they round the mark, unless there's anything else happening. We are approaching the mark, so we're getting close to seeing how this pans out. Juan seems to be fairly close to the ley line, so he should have the safest flight in here to be able to take the rounding by some margin, I think. It seems to have been a little bit of mid racing towards the end here. Not many coming in. They more sailors chose the middle of the road here. We saw a split with people coming in from the right and people coming in from the left to kind of duke it out in the previous race. But now in the blue race too. It's a little bit more centered. Lovely pictures. Now you see the face of Piran, the city at the edge of the tip there in the background. Fantastic place. I have to recommend you to visit Portorož if you're passing by a lovely, inviting place. Maybe a little bit warm, but otherwise very, 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 very nice. And Carl was up there challenging Juan. We also have a Brazilian that we missed here previously, and this is Manuel Braganza, that is clearly in the competition here as well. Interesting to see how they are positioning for the last pace in here. Ernst took a different route going up to ley line pretty early, right? So he's now trying to do a couple of moves to defend his third place. And that's Juan Leonard starting off, Carl Birgersson number 2. Then we have Ernst as number 3. Manuel Braganza coming in number 4. Sisu Sailor number 5 crossing soon. And we have, I think, the start of the red fleet coming up on the other. So we'll pass over there after we see a couple of more boats.
Yeah, let's see soon how the red are doing.
Yeah,
And
very close to the start here.
yeah, it looks like the fleet is more spread out now. There's more boats closer to pin end, so maybe the committee raced up at the pin. So the conditions are changing, and we'll have to see how the racing changes. Again, close to the starting signal. Boats are close. We're starting to see lots of double tacks. And when we see sailors double tacking, what they're trying to do is get some space. And we're off. We see Italy, Pietro close to committee. We also see US sailor Briggs, and we also see Swedish sailor Oscar, all close to committee end. Fleet is tacking. Some boats are really, really slowing. As we told you this morning, the forecast is that the wind slowly drops, and we're already seeing that there's less white stuff from the waves, which means the wind is slowly dropping. Austria here on port. Most of the fleet are going on port. Some due to bad start, some because they think that the right side is paying off. But yeah, they're all starting to tack back to starboard. Lots of double tacks we see here in this group. And even though it looks fast, it's really slow. And we're double tacking and we're not getting clear wind. or we're passing sterns or many things. Just means that we are losing distance to those that are sailing fast, straight line. Let's see who else we have here. We have we have Briggs. We have Oscar from Sweden. We have Malta sailor. I think it is Sebastian that also got a good start. And if we go a bit closer to the middle of the line, we can see another Malta sailor. It's this time it's Timothy. He just tacked off Kiwi sailor was coming on board. And then we have Turkish sailor Doruk, looking strong, good start, being able to extend. And Finnish sailor, I believe it is Jonas. Yes, it's Jonas. Also another clear lane. And to leeward of him, we have Singapore Lucas, looking fast, good lane. This is a great way to start the race. And we can see the blue rib there. That rib is the umpire. He will be checking boats for what I was commenting before of the pumping. If he sees any boats that overdo the rule, he'll have to flag them and they will have to do 2 turns, which is very, very, very expensive in conditions like this. Next up, we have Aussie sailor Walter, followed by Danish sailor and Ukraine sailor Andriy. These boats are already very, very to the left of the course. And then we have Finn Ramos and Croatian sailor. I think there was also a Spanish there. If there was a Spanish, it was Jan Palou. And last here, most to pin and most to the left side of the course, we have a Puerto Rico sailor Rafael Ernesto. Let's turn around and see how the rest of the fleet is going from this side. Japan sailor also here. Yeah, that sailor on the that we saw before. The Spanish one is Jan, super small sailor under 13 and very light, and definitely pushing here. We also see Italian sailor. This time it's Italian Christian Castellan that's pushing his fleet, and also Croatian sailor Vita Ekreg. They all look like they have nice lanes, good time to push. Thai sailor Rachata here. Nice lane, and lanes like this on days of boat speed are really important. You can really just push the boat and focus on having as maximum speed as you can. We now see, I believe it's Portugal sailor. No, it's not Portuguese. Who is it? Puerto Rico again. So it's Rafael Ernesto that just did 2 tags. And he's again on starboard going for that left side. We see the boats that are a bit more to the center of the line got a really good start. And if we get a bit of a righty shift, they'll be able to really extend. But if we get a left shift, they'll probably get crossed by these boats that we were mentioning before of Thailand, Puerto Rico, and Croatia that are looking strong towards that left side.
Jaha, du vill stå där ute. Okej, förlåt.
It's really nice seeing for day one that we have 125 people joining us. So please let us know in the comments where are you coming from and who are you cheering for. Well, we see this upwind from the Red Fleet playing out. We're getting a panoramic view. Again, we see Aussie sailor here. This Aussie sailor we said is Walter. We see also Malta, Netherlands, Czech Republic. All looking strong on starboard going to that left side. Looks like we got a bit of a right shift now because those boats that were more towards the center extended quite a lot on the left side. And yeah, if we look in the background now, we can see the yellow fleet or even the blue fleet. Yeah, I think it's the blue fleet going to the reaching mark, and they'll go downwind soon to go back up to the finishing line, which is in the middle of the upwind. We're seeing a big boat coming now on port towards the race course. Hope he doesn't interfere with the racing, as it would be a shame for all of them. And now we have Cyprus sailor, I believe Alexandros, looking very, very strong in this group. Again, if he gets a bit of a right shift, he'll be able to capitalize on it. But if not, he'll be crossing many sterns. Polish sailor Jerzy, I think, is here with Italian sailor Pietro. And yeah, now we're seeing those boats that started on starboard before. We're starting to see the fleet coming on port. So there's either a left shift happening, or they just want to reposition themselves toward the right shift, towards the right side. Sorry. Lili Sophie from Finland, we see here. And who else? Greek sailor Mariana Macri, also here, looking strong. She's probably one of the top contenders for a world title, female world title, along with many other girls that are here pushing to achieve this title. We have two Lithuanian sailors, and they have both the same name. They're Liepa. And yeah, let's see how it plays off for them. Canadian sailor also here, Zakaria, along with let's see who just stacked here. Let's see if we can get a picture of them. Now we're getting a view of the race course and of Croatia. We can see the top mark there. We're probably 40% into the upwind, still not into the halfway line. For those of you that are new to the sport, the half of the upwind is the point that the boats will usually extend towards the corners the most, and then after that they will start converging back if there's nothing weird happening.
And there is like a point that we call ley line, where if you sail past that, you're not going to have an optimal course in towards, and that's why it's converging, right?
Yes.
If you go beyond the ley lines, you'll overshoot, and you're losing absolute speed on the tack.
Yes.
Sailing upwards. Yeah.
Yeah, like for sailing, we have two fundamentals. One is being fast as possible, but the other one that most people also forget about is making the minimum distance. And we're gonna go see the other fleets, how they're doing now. This is Green Fleet. We're into the last minute of Green Fleet.
Well, there we have one very high up, looks suspiciously like UFD.
Yes, either
It's a black flag up. No,
we're already into the last minute, and I think it was UFD.
Yeah.
Thinking of the timing, that is being quite fluid. It's probably U flag. And this sailor in the middle of the course either has a really, really clear transit line, or he's probably UFD. A transit line is when we go behind the committee and we face towards the pin, and we align the the orange flags, and we get a transit point behind on shore, something that's remarkable, and we use it to know where we are with regards to the line. Or we could also do it the other way, which is going to the pin end, looking towards the committee end and looking for something that's behind the committee. We're now getting a zoom call, and looks like we're gonna be really close. The boats are already accelerating, and gone, we're off. Some boats already tacking. It's a Turkish sailor already on port, followed by Slovakia sailor and Austria sailor. Turkish sailor Doruk, 2 tags or back on starboard. Let's see how he crosses. Slovakia sailor Carolina crossing behind on port, and Austrian sailor Daniel back on starboard. To leeward of him, we have Pablo Munoz. He's just ducking astern. And now we have Swede here, Alexander Forsen, also going on port. Most of the fleet going on port, and means like there's probably some left shift, or they want to go back to the right side because they think it's gonna pay off. And yeah, we can see most of the boats here that started on committee. Pablo Munoz, Polish sailor. It is Jan, Polish sailor Jan, and Alexander Forsen, all of them on port, along with Austrian sailor Carla Marie, and Slovakia sailor Simon, and Chile sailor, there's two, so we have to see who he is. It is Vicente Perez. They're all going on port. This is race 2 of Green Fleet, just for everyone that's joining now. The rest of the fleets are already racing. We can see in the background some of the fleets, and this is going to be the last race of the day. We'll follow them along with the other fleets, and see how this is finishing.
This is an even split, so equal number of the ones that will go in port. We also see them spread across the course.
Yes, we see here Alejandro Valero just tacking, going on port. Really comfortable start, lots of space, great to be able to push the boat and sail fast. Belgian sailor tacking before, and UAE sailor 70, which is Herve on starboard. We see most of the fleet here. Italian sailor Giovanni just tacked now, and looks like Marta Mancito is tagging. Yeah, Marta Mancito goes on port. And who is here that's leading? Let's see. Yeah, Marta Mancito here, working hard the boat. She's about to pass the stern of this boat that's on starboard, which I believe is the UAE sailor we were saying before, Herve. Yes, it is Herve. And to leeward of him, we have Norway sailor that are pushing towards the right side. And let's see how this race plays off. We just started this race. Lots of time left, lots of things can happen. Wind is dropping and it's getting warmer for sure, eh, Peter?
Absolutely. I think, and that's what we're seeing, that leads to a slight shift in the wind as well. It is distinctly calmer now in the push. Wind is still here, but it's not at all the same pressure that we had when we started the day.
Yeah, it's way lighter. We can see that the trees aren't moving as much. We have here Norway sailor Nikolai on port, looking comfortable, lots of pace to leeward, and that will allow him to push. And Hungarian sailor Daniel going into a bit of trouble now. There's lots of boats coming, so we'll have to take a decision, either to cross them or to tack to leeward or to windward, because to leeward. And now we also have Hungarian sailor tacking on top of Nikolai. This Hungarian sailor is Bulksu, and he just took Nikolai's lane, forcing Nikolai to tack. And something that's important about sailing is that where we tack with respect to one boat. If we tack to leeward of him, we won't annoy him, and he can just sail his race. So that means that we think the way he was going is the correct way to go at the moment. If we tack on top of him, we will force him to go the other way, and that means that we think the way he was going is the correct way, and we're certain about it, so we're sending him to the other side. And if we tack to windward of him, it means that the way he was going is the correct, but we expect more of a shift towards the tack he's sailing. So, for example, if he's sailing on starboard and we tack to windward of him, we expect the wind to go a bit more to the right. We see Mexico sailor here, Otis, going on port, and yeah, the fleet is quite split. We see Chile sailor, Peru, Latvia, lots of countries here going towards that right side, and it looks like a split decision is happening here. We're gonna go to the top upwind rounding of the red fleet, I believe is the red fleet, and we'll see how it. So yeah, we can see the fleet has spread out quite a lot. We see one boat on port quite ahead. We'll see if he gets a bit of a right shift and he can cross the rest. And we also see
Magnificent view here. We see both the red that is up for the rounding, and you see all of the green fleet spread out as we watched before. And you really see that there is no preference in that fleet, in the green, in the background. It's all over the course, right?
yeah. Fortunately, we can't really distinct anything from the green fleet as it's so far away. But now from this red fleet, we can see lots. And we're gonna change camera to see another view of this top upwind mark. We can now get really close and see that the sailor that is, I said was going quite ahead on port, is Chinese sailor Bocheng, I believe. Let me just double check. No, sorry, it's Hongren. He's looking in quite a comfortable position. I would love to be him right now in the racing, because when you're leading, something that's good in sailing is that the rest of the fleet starts trying to pass each other, and you can do what's the shortest course and the fastest course. So you just keep on extending and extending. And yeah, it's really great. He definitely pushed lots to be able to round here, but it definitely pays off. And now we see a second Christian Castellan rounding second overall. Just look at the chop we have now. You can see that he's really playing with his body back and forth to help pass the waves. That is allowed by the rules of sailing. You can help the boat correct what we call the pitch, which is the position of the boat from the front to the back. And it really helps the waves pass the waves and not crash against them.
And this is also not something that can happen, right? That the waves, even though the wind is slowing down a bit, you still have the built-up waves from earlier, and in some extreme cases even the day before, right? So, and that makes it a little bit trickier than if you have both waves and hard wind, right?
Yeah, definitely. Something that we really speak about sailing is how the waves are matching with the wind. And if we have a bit stronger wind, it will push a bit more the waves and make a bit bigger waves and steeper waves. But if the wind drops and the waves take a bit of time to get used to this, so it's very important what you're saying, that the wave that we have a bit of a bigger wave with respect to the wind.
So Hongren Chuan rounding first in this race.
Yes,
but it's
followed by Walter from Australia.
Walter Healy
Walter
coming in as number 2, I think.
Tagging here, we have Singapore, we have Italy, and we have Thailand.
Lucas Cow from Singapore. It was Castellan from Italy, right?
Yes. We have Malta sailor Sebastian and Turkish sailor Doruk. We were mentioning that they were looking quite strong at the start of the race. So yeah, for those watching at home or for coaches reviewing this, take account of what was happening and what side they went, so you can see what pays off with this sea breeze. Croatia rounding now, followed by Puerto Rico sailor, which is Rafael Ernesto. We're also talking of him. And if I'm not wrong, he was on the left side, right, Peter?
Yeah.
Now we have US sailor Briggs rounding here in this top group. And as I said before, rounding in the top fleet, the part is really, really comfy. Makes your racing really easy. Next up, we have New Zealand, Czech Republic, Germany, Sweden. The boats are just starting to pile up, and this is probably the hardest part of the fleet to race in, because everybody's trying to overtake everybody. You have to really think about what the rest of the boats are doing, so you don't get dirty wind. For those that are new to sailing, dirty wind is when boats are close to each other and it just slows everyone down. And this is why we usually see the top boats extending with respect to the other boats. Greece, Portugal, Italy, Hungary, Cyprus, Italy, Israel, you name them, they are all here. And yeah, let's see how the race unfolds for them.
Yeah, interesting.
This is the last race of the day for the Red Fleet. The plan, if there's wind every day, is to do 2 races every day. If we go behind schedule, it could be that we see that we're doing a 3rd or even a 4th race if it's permitted by the sailing instructions. And
it's a little bit more normal regularly if you look at regattas that you try to fit 3 in every day. But when it comes to the championships, they are scaling that down and increasing the number of days to increase the chance of having optimal conditions in every race, which is simply to make it as fair as possible for everyone, right?
Yeah, and something that's also very important is that you're not running 2 races, you're running 8 races, because there's 2 races for every fleet and there's 4 fleets. So you have to really, really be sure that you can get good conditions for all the sailors. Because if one fleet starts with, if we would did 3 races, it would be a total of 12 races, and maybe the last group gets a really different conditions, and it would make it unfair. Because at the end, what we try is to get the same conditions for all the racing. We see here some of the last sailors of this red group. We have Paraguay, we have Azerbaijan, Latvia, Romania, Republic of sorry, I got lost here. Paraguay, Japan, Slovak Republic, and let's see who is here that we'll have to tag now. And it is Qatar. So yeah, thanks to everyone for joining. We're 136 people. We have people here cheering for Uruguay, for Paraguay, Montenegro, and Morocco. So let's go. Let's cheer for them. Come on, guys. Let's hope for the best. Chile here. And the sailor that's rounding last is Fortune. Ah, no, there's few more sailors. Let's follow. Let's go check now the Green Fleet, see how they're doing. They're still in the upwind. Long time left for them to be rounding the stop mark. But let's see how it goes for them. We can see now the boats reaching. We can see the boats downwind, and I think the yellow already finished. Peter, could you check how the yellow are doing? The yellow second race.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky knowing because the tracking is a bit behind, right? So I think that if I look at the tracking, I think the blue should be approaching. Maybe the yellow is close to coming in.
Yeah, I'm checking the tracking now, and
But tracking is behind, so
It's behind?
it's a little bit. Yeah, it always takes time for large fleets to. So I would say it's between 5 and 10 minutes behind, roughly, generally.
so they'll be home already, right? Or they'll be going home.
Gold or yellow has just finished or on the way to finishing.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for everyone for joining once again. 150 people. What we are seeing here, what I think is the green fleet. Yes, it's the green fleet that we're seeing here on the with our shots, and we'll try and get close now. See who's leading the race. We can see the umpire going there with his rib just a bit in front of the fleet. Maybe they're going to switch umpires between races, and he'll go to the other race. Yeah, we can see here Croatia. Let's see who else we can see. It's definitely getting very light out there. Very light, very warm. Definitely the kids will want some water when they get home and something cold because it's boiling. I can tell you it is extremely warm here. So let's see how these guys are doing. Let's see when we get a good shot of them and we can start reading who are the guys leading at the moment. We have Michelle here cheering for New Zealand. Let's see if we get any Kiwi sailors on camera that are doing good. We have Danish sailor. We have Greek sailor here that looks in a comfortable position. It's Nikolaos with UAE sailor Herve that we said before he was doing good. And then let's see how the fleet is looking. It's definitely split. Not many boats in the middle of the course. We have a big bunch of groups in the right side of the course, which is the top left side of the screen that you're seeing at the moment. And we also had a big group in the left side, which is what we were showing before. So let's see how these guys are doing. We have, let's see who we have here. We have Cyprus Sailor, Michaela doing good. Swiss Sailor team also strong starboard ley line, and then to the right we have few more countries. We have Argentina, Hungary, I think it's Brazil, the other Cyprus Sailor, Crisis, and the US Sailor there. Sorry, I thought it's Pablo Munoz. Definitely light here. Looks like there's maybe a bit more breeze in the back of the screen, so that would be further to the right, but it's quite sunny, so we can't fully say. And the boats are definitely getting slower. It is getting light out there. Let's hope that they can finish the race in fair conditions, especially for those that are leading. They will really want to finish the race because they will want that good result. And we have here Otis from Mexico. Cyprus Sailor just stacked, and they'll be converging soon. Oh no, Mexico's Otis just stacked, and they're going on port again. Looks like the port side of the fleet is really have an advantage. There's a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boats, or even 6 that I would say are leading. Let's get a bit closer to them now and see how they're doing and see who are these leading boats. So let's see when we can get a shot that we can see them. Still to be confirmed, but I think there's another Mexico Sailor. These Mexico guys are really liking the conditions, looks like. It's Nicolas from Greece that we saw is doing good. He just tacked back to starboard, meaning that there's probably a bit more intensity in this left side of the course, or he either just got a bit of a right shift and he's using it. UAE Sailor Herve going on port, so they're not agreeing between them, but it's normal. Sailing is such a complex sport that opinions are all the time out there. And yeah, it's even for stuff like technique, there's millions of ways, there's millions of doctrines of what works better, and they all agree on some things, but on others they disagree or they do it a different way. And we'll now be bringing to the course our second drone, so we can follow these finishing this race with the 2 boats. Nicolas definitely looking strong. I think he's a top contender to run the top mark first. He has a good advantage of those passing behind him. And yeah, let's see if we can get a shot of the ley line also and see how close we are to ley line, and this will give us a good perspective of where we are. Nicolas is stacking here. And we still have probably 30-40 seconds to ley line with those starboard boats, at least for Nicolas. Danish Sailor here tacking back. It's let's see if we can see it. It's Jonathan, and he's had to bear away a bit, just get the boat fast again, and when he goes fast he can start pointing up again. Nicolas looking definitely very strong. Malta Sailor, it is let's see if we can see the number. Malta Sailor 174 Matias tacking to leeward of Nicolas. Looks like Nicolas is going to take this top rounding, and Danish Sailor and Jonathan just going back to this left ley line. Once you get to ley line, there's no going back. You're there, and that's your racing. And if you took the right decisions, you'll be rounding first. But if there's someone rounding in front of you, it's very, very, very difficult to overtake them in the ley line. UAE Sailor Herve here, getting close with Nicolas, I believe. Yes, it's Nicolas just tacking to windward of him, and Nicolas is here on the starboard ley line with also Malta. These 3 sailors are going to battle for the top spot, Matias, Nicolas, and Herve, and they have a bit of advantage to the 4th boat, but it's going to be a battle for this top spot. So yeah, we see Nicolas rounding first, followed by Matias from Malta and Herve from UAE rounding third. Next up, we have Croatian sailor Jurai rounding on fourth, and Jonathan from Denmark rounding on fifth. These guys are going to have a comfy race from here onwards. Next up, we have Finn sailor Nico rounding in sixth. And then we have another UAE sailor. UAE's guys, Khalifa and Hervé, definitely knew something that the rest didn't, because they both managed to round second, third, and seventh, I believe. Yes, so they're gonna have, their coach is gonna be happy, that's for sure. Next, we have Germany, Turkey, Bulgaria, Freya from Denmark, Mexico sailor, Italy. Italy's gonna really have to push there for the ley line. They're a bit low and they can't afford to slow down. It's Jesper Carlsen that just manages to round. We don't know if he touches or not the mark. Let's see. Yeah, he did touch and he's taking the penalty. Good sportsmanship from him taking this penalty. And we see the rest of the sailors. US sailor, Spanish, Norway, Korea, Hungary. They're all here. And this is the pack. This is the complicated part of the course where the sailors go together.
Try to switch to another view now. So we shifted to what I believe is the blue fleet coming in for their finishing. And as you can see, the wind is much lighter now than when we started the day. And they will be going in for the day after their second race is over.
Yeah. Our connection is better apparently.
Do we have batteries to charge?
So here we see all of the boats entering down to the marina for the day and to catch some shade maybe after having had 2 tough races. Once again, great view of the fantastic event arena in Portorož. I think we had a very great first day. As you said, Pablo, 8 good races from 4 fleets. Race 1 and 2 is under the belt. We can now go in and let the sailors rest a bit in the shade.
Yeah, definitely. We're lucky today that we had a quick day, and we're just seeing, apart from this initial AP, that we had a bit of an hour AP, the rest was good. And yeah, the sailors will be happy. They completed the plan and they can go to the normal racing time, which, if it's not changed due to wind conditions, it should be at 12 every day.
Yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. Now we'll also bring our equipment into the shade because it's exercised a lot today as well in the heat, which is not very accustomed to. And we hope we get to see all of you tomorrow again in the stream, beginning at the same time as today. And if you bring your friends and grandparents and mom and dad or whoever is at home into this, we'll have a good time together.
Yeah, enjoy lots. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.